Tonight on TV2 News, Portage County enters its third week at a red level 3 advisory, with numbers continuing to rise throughout the region. We spoke to local health officials.
And across the state, numbers are rising and case totals are breaking records. Governor DeWine's message to Ohioans amidst a COVID-19 surge.
And if you live in Portage County and have been negatively impacted by the pandemic, there is an opportunity for financial assistance, but it won't be around for long.
As the virus continues to spread, the CDC now making changes to what they define as close contact. We have what you need to know to stay healthy this fall. TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Thursday evening, Kent State. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Lexi Biasi.
And I'm Steffen.
Kent State students were invited today to a town hall meeting with university leaders to discuss privacy, safety, and other issues surrounding the coronavirus pandemic.
And as cases continue to increase on the campus, the administration emphasized taking personal responsibility for students' health, especially ahead as the holiday season is right around the corner.
So those 2 weeks before students are heading home for the holidays are when you really need to buckle down and be careful by wearing a mask, socially isolating, washing your hands, staying away from groups, don't going to parties.
And really start thinking about your plans to go home and count back 14 days and do a self-imposed shelter-in-place type of quarantine is the best way to go home safely.
And today marks the third week of Portage County being at a red level 3 advisory. Cases throughout the region are increasing at about a 6.9% positivity rate over the last 14 days. Now, health officials are preparing for more increases as Halloween and Thanksgiving are approaching, but the numbers are keeping Portage County as a solid red in the level alert system.
Week of red status for the public health advisory system. We continue to see an increase of community spread throughout Portage County, and we are averaging about 18 new cases per day that are reported to us, all within Portage County.
Now, local health officials do want to warn of the dangers of gathering in large crowds for what would normally be busy festivities ahead. City and university officials are urging students to forego Halloween partying this year as Portage County and Kent State COVID numbers continue to rise. They say the only way we curb the virus is through the choices we make.
10 days are very crucial to our state and especially to our county. So our choices of when we go out, with whom we gather with, how we meet, how many people meet, correctly wearing a face mask, our covering, as well as the use of social distancing are really very powerful tools.
And the outlook statewide not much better. Ohio recorded 2,425 new cases since just yesterday. Yet another record-breaking daily increase. This marks the 8th in just 9 days for the state. Ohio also reported another 12 deaths and 159 hospitalizations. There are now 38 counties in the red level of the Public Health Advisory Alert System. State totals since the onset of the pandemic have now reached over 190,000 cases and over 5,100 deaths.
And Portage County commissioners have created 2 programs to assist small businesses and families who have faced hardships due to the COVID-19 pandemic. CARES Relief Services funding will help residents avoid eviction, foreclosure, or loss of utility access. And a small business grant will assist small businesses throughout the region. There is a deadline, though. To receive assistance, you must submit an application to Job and Family Services by November 6th at 4 p.m. Those applications can be downloaded at the link on the bottom of your screen.
The goal of the grant program is to keep businesses in Portage County operating, to retain as many jobs in Portage County as possible, and to minimize the long-term economic hardship to Portage County businesses, employees, and residents resulting from the
Good evening, Kent State and Portage County. We had a very beautiful day today. The temperatures were in the high 70s and it felt like 81 degrees. Now let's take a look at the rest of Ohio's weather. So currently in Kent, it is 58 degrees right now. It cooled down a little bit since earlier. The winds were coming from the south at around 8 miles per hour. Now we're going to take a look at the rest of Ohio's temperatures. So right now in Ohio, it dropped down to like the upper mid 50s, but in Athens it's 47. In Lima it is about 59 degrees. So as you go up north, it's starting to get a little warmer. Steubenville 58 and Dayton 56. It's a little colder down in Cincinnati at around 50 degrees. And as we go into a closer look in the northeastern Ohio, so kind of like on the western side around Mansfield and Sandusky, it's a little warmer. Mansfield 60, Sandusky 59. And as you look at Worcester and Canton, it's 56, 58, Kent 58. And that's all for now. And we're going to take it back up to the front.
The CDC now says the virus can be passed through brief interactions with people. Previously, they defined close contact as 15 minutes of continuous exposure to an infected individual. Here's the agency's director, Robert Redfield, on why they made the update.
There is some recent data that has been determined that an individual who had a series of shorter contacts, but over time added up to more than 15 minutes, became infected. And clarifying that new science, that new data into our contact recommendation.
And the first company in the U.S. to start COVID-19 clinical trials has finished enrolling 30,000 of its participants today. All participants have received the first shot and more than half have received their second. Moderna President Dr. Stephen Hoge says that 53 out of the 30,000 participants need to become sick with COVID-19, and at least 40 of those participants need to have received a placebo for the vaccine to be 75% effective. Moderna says that it is on track to put the vaccine on the market in early December if the trials go well.
President Trump and Joe Biden will face off in their second and final presidential debate tonight. TV2 has what you need to know ahead of the last pit stop in the road to the 2020 presidential election.
And Russia and Iran were caught trying to intimidate U.S. voters before they voted in the election. The message the FBI is sending Americans when we return.
The Senate Judiciary Committee issued subpoenas for testimony from both Facebook and Twitter CEOs, alleging their platform policies are, quote, election interference. Stay with us. We'll be back in 90.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I mean,
Right?
like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
Welcome back. Just 1 week after Kamala Harris canceled her trip to Ohio, she's now made new plans to visit the Buckeye State. She'll touch down in Cleveland this Saturday, just 1 day after Mike Pence will be in Toledo. Senator Harris originally canceled her trip after 2 staff members tested positive for COVID-19. Ohio is considered a battleground state this election season, as the candidates have been visiting quite often.
And President Trump and Joe Biden get one more go-ahead on primetime TV tonight. And some changes have been made since the last time they met. Karen Kaifa was in Nashville this morning with a preview of tonight's final presidential debate.
After a chaotic clash in Cleveland,
the question Supreme is, Court Justice, radical left,
and a hospitalization with COVID-19, President Trump has rallied and rambled his way toward this final debate of 2020.
If Biden wins, your borders are gone, which means your health care is gone, the middle class is gone, your safety is gone.
This stage likely the final opportunity for him to articulate a closing argument for a second term before such a wide national audience, with voting already ongoing. Meanwhile, former Vice President Joe Biden has not let up his criticism of President Trump's handling of the pandemic.
The president knew how dangerous this virus was all the way back in January. And he hid it from the country.
Despite 2020's tumult, national polling in the presidential race has remained steady, with Biden in the lead. Biden's plan for tonight, keep things steady.
He's going to be ready to talk about his plans. He's going to be ready to talk directly to the American people about his belief that we can get through this crisis.
The Commission on Presidential Debates has made some changes for tonight, and President Trump told Fox News he wasn't thrilled.
There's nothing fair about this debate, but that's okay.
Candidates' microphones will be briefly muted while their opponent gives his 2-minute response to each of the 6 segments' initial questions, designed to minimize interruptions.
You receive an intimidating or manipulative email in your inbox, don't be alarmed and do not spread it. This is not a partisan issue. I've had conversations today with members of Congress from both sides of the aisle, and there is complete unanimity in the U.S. government in our resolve to combat the enemies of freedom.
And as Election Day is just days away, the FBI is warning of voter intimidation before heading to the polls. Iran and Russia obtained some Florida residents' information, specifically those of the Democratic Party. Those voters received emails instructing them to switch to the Republican Party, designed to look like it was coming from Proud Boys, the right-wing group of Trump supporters that became a focal point during the first presidential debate. The FBI wants to assure all Americans that their vote counts and not to let this scare you away from the polls.
I informed the committee last night that they will not participate in the hearing. That was their choice. It will be my choice to vote the nominee out of committee. We're not going to allow them to take over the committee. They made a choice not to participate. I remember telling Senator Schumer, you'll regret this. Today, he will regret it. And all I can say is that Judge Gorsuch was filibustered 2 or 3 times, requiring us to change the rules. They started this, not me.
Now, as you just saw, partisan tensions were high atop the Capitol Hill this morning. A 12-0 decision made officially nominating Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. 10 Democratic senators were notably absent, deciding to boycott the vote. Instead, they filled their seats with pictures of people who rely upon the Affordable Care Act, which many fear Barrett will vote to overturn. Her confirmation will give Republicans a 6-3 conservative majority in the Supreme Court. And also taking place on Capitol Hill today, Senate Republicans voted to subpoena Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. The motion comes amid growing conservative criticism of the tech giants and their content moderation decisions. Zuckerberg and Dorsey are already scheduled to testify voluntarily before the Senate Commerce Committee October 28th.
And the coronavirus pandemic has upended the U.S. economy, leaving millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet. Although no stimulus deal has been reached on Capitol Hill just yet, efforts continue to make it happen. John Lawrence reports.
Plans for a stimulus package are rolling forward,
but the road is still bumpy.
Either Democrats get every unrelated policy they want, or American families get nothing.
What we have here are a series of show stunt votes designed to fail because the Republicans want them to fail.
Although there is bickering on the Senate floor, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin are making progress, and the Trump White House is backing the idea of a larger package.
The President and Secretary Mnuchin and myself have not only made modifications, but made substantial modifications that come at the risk of jeopardizing Republican support.
As Washington, D.C. negotiates, the American people wait as COVID-19 health restrictions affect the U.S. economy.
Many businesses cannot keep employees hired, make ends meet, pay the same overhead every month.
I think it's hurting people's livelihood and the economy and everything else.
According to sources close to McConnell, the majority leader says it would be logistically hard to get a bill done prior to Election Day due to legislative hurdles. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Jobless claims in the United States dropped to nearly the lowest total since the onset of the pandemic back in March. The new filings for claims almost reached 790,000. The large increase is in part due to workers shifting towards the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Emergency Compensation Program after using all of their regular benefits.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. So right now, as we're going into later tonight, so at around 7 o'clock p.m., it's going to drop down to about 72 degrees with some cloudy skies. 10 o'clock p.m. it's going to be around 63 degrees, and going into midnight it's going to be around the same. So it's not going to be super cold tonight, a fairly averageable night. But just make sure if you're going outside, if you get cold easy, make sure you wear a jacket or something to make sure you're comfortable. And as we going into tomorrow's forecast, so tonight's going to be 63 degrees. So tonight temperatures will drop down to the low 60s and with some cloudy skies tonight. So not a bad night at all. Very beautiful weather today and tonight. Tomorrow might be a little cold getting up in the morning as we look forward to our 7-day forecast. So if you look over here on Friday, it's going to be we're going to have some thunderstorms tomorrow. It's going to be around 76, low 42. Saturday, it's going to be 46, 35. Sunday, 51, 44. So the weekend is going to get a lot colder. Going into the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all rain. Also Thursday, Monday, 51, low 42. Tuesday, 49, low 44, and it's about the same for Wednesday and Thursday. Make sure you just wear a rain jacket while you're going outside. It's supposed to be wet coming up this week, and that's all I have for now, and now we're going to send it back up to the front.
A judge has dropped one of the murder charges against the officer involved in the death of George Floyd in May. How this impacts that case when we return.
Southwest Airlines made the decision to return to selling all the seats on the flights amid the coronavirus pandemic.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home Walk Restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
And we're back. A third-degree murder charge against former officer Derek Chauvin has been dropped. The Hennepin County judge denied Chauvin's motion, however, to remove second-degree higher charges, which include unintentional murder and manslaughter. Chauvin was released on a $1 million bond earlier this month after being seen kneeling on Floyd's neck, while he said he could not breathe. In other news, Southwest Airlines plans to resume selling all available seats for traveling starting December 1st. Many airlines suffered losses amid the coronavirus pandemic, with protocols in place in order to prevent the spread of the virus. Southwest Airlines stated today the science-based findings from trusted medical and aviation experts show they can now begin allowing passengers to sit in the middle seats again.
Now, your TV2 Sports Report.
I'm Connor Mills. We have a lot to cover here today with the Browns and the Buckeyes playing this weekend. But first, let's flash back to last night. Game 2 of the World Series kicked off last night, and after losing Game 1, the Rays were looking to bounce back and tie the series. Brandon Lowe started things off for the Rays offense in the top of the first, hitting an early solo shot to give the Rays a 1-0 lead. All gas and no brakes for the Rays offense last night, as with 2 on and 2 out, Joey Wendell delivers a gapper into right field. That allows 2 runs to score, and the Rays extend their lead to 3-0. But in the 8th inning, Dodgers' Corey Seager said not so fast, as he hits a solo shot into deep center field, and that cuts the lead down to 2. Do the Dodgers have another comeback in them? Not tonight, says Diego Castillo, as he comes in the 9th inning to steal the victory for the Rays by a final score of 6-4. Transitioning on to Ohio State football, for the first time in 10 months, the Ohio State Buckeyes will be in action against their Big Ten rival Nebraska this Saturday at the Horseshoe. The Buckeyes are coming into the season ranked number 5, while Nebraska remains unranked, coming in after an underwhelming 2019 season where they finished with a record of 5 wins and 7 losses. Justin Fields dominated the Cornhuskers last season, throwing for 212 yards and 4 total touchdowns in a rout at Memorial Stadium by a final score of 48-7. Here are my reasons on why Ohio State will win this weekend. Ohio State is led by Heisman Trophy contender quarterback Justin Fields, and I believe he will have no problem throwing and running the ball against a weak Cornhusker defense. Second off, the Buckeyes' athletic and lockdown defense with returning starters such as Jonathan Cooper and Pete Werner will be too much for the Nebraska offense to handle. And lastly, home field advantage. Although there will be no fans in attendance, the Buckeyes still have a huge advantage when it comes to playing in Columbus. The last time the Buckeyes lost at the Horseshoe was in 2017. Baker versus Burrow round 2 will take place this Sunday as the Browns head down to Cincinnati for their Week 7 matchup against the Bengals. The Browns are coming in with a record of 4-2 while the Bengals are at 1-4-1. Both teams will look to bounce back after suffering losses in Week 6. The Browns won the previous matchup against the Bengals in Week 2 by a final score of 35-30. We'll see if the Browns' running game can get back on track after failing to get things going against the Steelers last week. And this week might be the opportunity to see so, as the Bengals are ranked just 27th in run defense. That's all I have for sports. My prediction for the Battle of Ohio is Browns 35, Bengals 31. Back to you guys at the desk.
It may not be safe to sit on Santa's lap this year, but that doesn't mean you won't be able to talk to the jolly old man up north. How you can get in the holiday spirit when we return.
And an upcoming announcement from NASA will have you feeling over the moon. Coincidentally, the news also has to do with the moon. This discovery when we return.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back. NASA wants you to get excited about the moon, or more specifically, about a mysterious new science result the agency plans to unveil next Monday. The agency says you can tune in at noon to the news conference. Without spilling the zero-gravity tea here, NASA promises an exciting new discovery about the moon, they say, with science coming from its astronomy facility, SOFIA, which is packed into a jet and able to fly above most of the Earth's atmosphere. To catch the announcement, all you amateur astronauts out there can visit space.com again Monday at 12 p.m.
And Santa wants you to be safe this year too, so he's making virtual visits to all the girls and boys across the world. The website chitchatwithsanta.com allows families to schedule a call with Santa. It serves as an alternative to face-to-face sit-downs, which are limited because of the pandemic. Families join in online with Old St. Nick and share their holiday cheer and wishes. The calls are $28 and last 6 to 10 minutes. Families can also enjoy story time with Mrs. Claus or choose a pre-recorded call for those on the go.
Gosh, I have to say, this brings me, I really haven't thought about Christmas yet, and I completely forgot about all the times you go visit Santa. My sister literally so scared of Santa. I think one year she actually punched him. I didn't. I loved Santa. I don't know. Did you?
I always loved Santa, and last year Santa actually FaceTimed my little cousin, so that was pretty cool to watch.
Well,
I was excited to see him.
That's pretty cool, but I think before we get to Christmas, we still have all of this fall to go through. So let's go to Kyle now. Give us some more on that fall weather.
Thanks, Connor. So going back into the 7-day forecast, so on Friday we have thunderstorms and it's going to be a low of 42 and a high 76, but going into the weekend, temperatures will drop down a lot. If we look at Saturday, it's going to be 46, 35, and then on Sunday it's going to be 51 with a low of 44. So going into the weekdays, we're going to have rain throughout most of the week. On Monday, it's going to be 51 with a low of 42, and that's pretty much the same for the rest of the week. And that's all for tonight, and thank you for listening to my forecast. Now we're going to send it back up to the desk.
And that'll do it for this evening's edition of TV2 News. As always, thank you for being with us tonight.
That's right, and for continuous updates and coverage on all things Portage County and Kent State, be sure to connect with us on social media at TV2KSU. I'm Connor Steffen.
And I'm Lexi Biasi. We're here every weeknight at 6. We'll see you tomorrow night.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.